I'm William Nozak, and in this module, I'm going to cover Introduction to Analytics. What are analytics? This is the process and the use of tools to evaluate the effectiveness and value of the content. And when I say content, I'm loosely saying content. I'm saying social media posts. I'm talking about podcast content, video content, content on the website. Anything that's an activity or has text or is an item, we might just call that content. Allows you to identify current trends and patterns and enables decisions backed by data. Marketing is reactive and proactive. It's trying to stay ahead of the trends at the bleeding edge in your industry, and it's also closing the back door and taking a look at what have competitors done that's successful and how can we shore up our business as well, understanding what's there with SEO, what those SERP volumes are, what that content looks like, and really creating a strategy that fits our business and our brand. Finding the best way to measure the success of the content remains essential. We're using SEO tools. We're using tools that show SERP positioning, keyword positioning. We're using Google Search Console to see how the website is doing in Google. We're using the back end of Google My Business if we have a local brick and mortar store. We're using e-commerce stats and Google Analytics against goals and sales. We're gonna use every piece of tool, not all of the things from that tool, but maybe we'll use a slice from Full Story, or Screaming Frog, or Hotjar, or Screaming Frog, or Ahrefs, or SEMrush, and then Google Analytics and Google Search Console, and we're gonna create this understanding of how everything is moving forward. So there are 3 tips to analytic success. 1, be balanced in analytic techniques, right? We're not gonna compare apples and oranges. We're not gonna compare us versus the competitor in another tool. We always wanna compare within tools. So we're gonna compare what we find in this tool for our business against what we find for other competitors in that tool. We always have to keep the comparisons inside the tool. We can't compare what we find in this tool against what we find in that tool. So it's really just what do we find in that tool and what can we gain insights into and what changes or additions can we make. Same thing for every single tool that we use. So be balanced. And don't just look at one tool. We want to look at we want to slice the pie with many tools, many different segments here. It's like in anatomy where they do the slice and they're looking down the whole body. We're taking everything in slices and understanding little pieces of the story with that slice. 2, know capabilities and fill in the gaps. Once we find these gaps against the competition, against the local competition and the regional competition, and maybe even some international competition that you butt up against, then we slowly want to make changes in our own strategy and really usually additions. And then 3, use the data. What do we find about demographics? Who is it that we're serving our information to or is buying? What are they doing or where are they coming from when they hit the site? And what are they doing once they hit the site or our information? Why are analytics important? Consumers, potential buyers, are flooded with advertisements. Every single device. It's the Internet of Things. It's on their phone. It's on their watch. It's everywhere. Everywhere that it can be, it will be. And so they're flooded with advertisements and content, and they're more selective than ever. So we're trying to block out everything that isn't a direct hit for us. Analytics can help advise a brand on how to stand out and draw the interest of its target audience, right? You've got the whole world, and then you've got your, the people that are potential buyers for you. And then in that, we've got our impression load of those potential buyers. We don't totally know all of them yet, but we want to get as much of our impression load against that potential impression load. You want to turn that impression load into clicks, leads, sales, right? We want to go from leads converted to sales. That's the whole thing. That's the whole funnel. And we want to use our analytics and our information to really target more of those people with future advertising and future content, future social media posts and things like that. We want to be in the right channels. Lean on analytics to create a targeted ad and timely content on the right channels. We're going to use our analytics to really understand more things about that large group. And of course, we're thinking bell-shaped curve, obviously. There's always going to be 1 and 2 sigmas away that there's other additional things that we can do to target even these small pockets of people. And then analytics are going to help us improve the funnel, right? What's it all about? At the end of the day, if you're a C level or the business owner, it's about more sales. It's about getting more conversions. It's about taking more of the market share. It's about going from 0% of the market share to 0.1% of the market share. It's from going from position 4 in your local market to position 3, from position 3 to position 2, and all the way to position 1, or at least being in the top 3 choices. What can you do with analytics? We can better understand our efforts, what we're doing. If it makes sense for us to post on Snapchat, which in most cases it won't be making any sense, or maybe it does make sense to post on TikTok, and it certainly will probably make sense to post on Facebook, but you have to figure out the analytics in your group on Twitter and Instagram. And then our goals. What are our goals? Our goals to be a market leader in the area. We certainly have to have money to have our marketing efforts make sense, right? We want to be the best, but we don't want to spend the money. That doesn't make any sense. The best are probably spending $1,000 to tens of thousands a month on their digital marketing, and even more in some cases. And so we have to understand digital marketing, it's an investment. We want to be the best, we have to invest like the best. And so it's a mindset change sometimes where, hey, we've never spent money on digital marketing. Hey, now we have to have the expectation that there's a certain amount of money we need to spend over a certain amount of months or years in order to get to that position or that goal that we have in mind. And then of course we want to pay attention to our performance. How are we doing against the competition? How are we doing against our own goals? Are we going up? Are we going down? Are we level? Show qualitative and quantitative results, right? We want to know the quantitative understanding of things. How does this stack up in an equation? Is our bounce rate going up or down? Is the number of pages people visit going up or down? Things like this. And then the qualitative information, are people reviewing us favorably? Are they a good match for our product? Do they go and tell others about us? What do they say when we do surveys and things like that? What do they say they also need or want? Understand the target audience in great detail. This is where we're gonna build buyer personas. We've got Tom, we've got Tim, we've got Jim, and then we've got Karen out here who we really want, but we really aren't ready for Karen. We're just kind of working the things that these personas need so that one day we can service Karen. Discover content gaps to exploit. This is the digital SWOT, strengths, weakness, opportunities, threats. What do the competitors have that we do not have? What do we need to cover more ground in the SERPs, in more channels, in more social medias? Measure whether blog posts are driving conversions. We certainly need to pay attention to those things. Maybe we have a Twitter person on staff, but Twitter brings traffic to their website to the tune of 99.9% bounce rate, and they stay for 1 second, and we've never seen a conversion on that. This is a time where we need to change, augment, make changes to what people are doing and how they do it, or maybe even replace a person. And so if you got someone that's great at Twitter, but Twitter, because that's their skill set, and you knew them and you're like, yeah, hey, we could use your help, but Twitter gets no conversions and doesn't get us very good traffic, time to move on and find someone in a channel that we think possibly is getting us the demographic that's a potential user of or buyer of our product, user of our service, buyer of our product. So find out the best day of the week, time of the day to publish content. When conversions go down, we're looking at that bell-shaped curve, shut off your ad spend. Really focus on your content deliveries to match up against when they're searching. We have clients that are weekly seasonal, Monday through Friday is all the traffic. Saturday and Sunday, 0. Shut off your ads. Stop trying to promote things on Saturday, Sunday if your buyer group is not looking for them. Prime example, insurance. No one's looking on Saturday, Sunday, as crazy that sounds. It's Monday through Friday. And so there's a lot of different industries where we can really target our strategy, target the people, and get the most. It's like squeezing a lemon, the last drop out of our efforts. And then we're gonna uncover, with analytics, we're gonna uncover SEO opportunities, pages that are so close to winning, and they just need additions, augmentations, or maybe just a tweak in the page strategy. So be balanced in analytical techniques. We really want to focus on what's happened in the past, what's going on in the present, and where do we think the future is going? What are our competitors moving their value proposition to? What does it look like they're targeting? What language are they using? We use maybe google.com/trends for this. Where's the language changing? Where is it going? Where the states are trending for certain things? And then we also want to get feedback on reviews. How are people what language are they using when it comes to our product or service? What's important to them? This is how we can stay in front of language changes, language trends, fads that become trends, and long-term trends that just become disruptive. So we want to use data to stay on top of those things. We're looking at things that are coming about in our analytics, search queries that we've never seen before, search queries that used to be large but are now flagging or falling behind. Know capabilities and fill in the gaps. So a business should stay in tune with where it currently stands using analytics, right? Where are we now? What do we have? We have something. What do we have? And what do we want? Do we even have the strength to go at those things? Is there an intermediary step that we need to take before we start changing our content and our strategy to target these bigger things? You can't target the word carpet cleaning unless you've really spent some time either growing your strength of your website or you're a franchise with hundreds and close to 1,000 locations where you've got 1,000 GMBs across the country saying carpet cleaning. You've got press releases on every new location. You've got pages for every new location. And you've spent time on PRs and used PR companies to try to get some really big backlinks from really big brands out there. There's just steps that we take. We might geo-modify our strategy, and we might look at some terms that really feel like are going to bring us buyers and an easy step into that we could really build our brand into, and then maybe do a position change in a couple years. Because what is it about? It's about cash flowing now and cash flowing then. It's about competing and winning where we are today and competing in the future for even larger pockets of people. So use the data. It's meaningless if you try to look at all of it. And if you don't look at it and act upon it, analyze it and make decisions, again, it's worthless. If you have all the data points, you have all of the tracking sheets in place, you've got all the tools, right? You pay $10,000 a year in software. But if you don't use that and have someone looking at those things and making changes against that information, it's all meaningless. It's going to get you nowhere. And certainly just having it is nothing. Analyzing it and making modifications to your strategy is where the gold is at. So that's Introduction to Analytics. If you need to, go back and watch that module. If not, I'll see you in the next module.